Hello friends, welcome once again to Rick's Garage. Today I've got a 2011 Dodge Ram pickup to work on. It was towed in here a few days ago. I believe it's got a bad starter. The battery, I just topped it off, charged it up. And you can see I've got my multimeter up there. It's reading 12.9 volts, which is way more than enough to start the vehicle. I've also cleaned the battery terminals. Those were not the issue. So I believe it's the starter. We're getting only one click. Now, if you get multiple clicks, that indicates a bad connection or a low battery. But the fact that we're getting just one click and it's not pulling the multimeter down means that it is likely the starter's not engaging. As you can see, I've got the vehicle supported by my lift stands. I'm working outside today. One reason is this is kind of a big truck and it's kind of cramped. I could work on it inside, but the weather's nice and it's kind of cramped in the garage working on a big vehicle like this. So what I've got is I've got it supported by my lift stands, as I just said. I've done a review of these and I've been very happy with this product, and I like to use it because it very safely gives you lots of height. You can see how high I've got this vehicle off the ground. The other thing I want you to notice is I've got the wheels chalked in the back, and also I've got the emergency brake set. Okay friends, the first thing we're going to do is disconnect the negative battery terminal. That's always a good idea no matter what sort of repair you're doing. It's a 10mm wrench. There we go. Alright, that's disconnected. Okay friends, we're now underneath the vehicle, and we're going to first attempt to unbolt the main wire coming down to the starter. Sometimes it's more advantageous to try to unbolt it after you remove the starter, but in this particular instance there's plenty of room to get at it, so I'm going to try to unbolt it now. Let's see how this goes. And it looks like it's turning. Okay, hope I'm not blocking your view too badly. Kind of a long stud. Apologize it's taking so long. So I can turn that with my finger. Yes, I can. Okay. That's out, and now pull this off. We've got a little plug here, and you can press it right here. You should be able to pull it right off, and it came right off. So that's good. That's out of the way. This looks like a reasonably good starter to replace anyway. Okay friends, we're ready to attempt to unbolt the starter itself. They're slightly rounded, so a 15mm 12 point is not going to work. So I've taken a 15mm 6 point from my impact set, and we're going to try to loosen this. It's coming off very easily. Alright, that was way easier than I expected. I'll try to get it off with my hand. I hope I'm not blocking your view too badly. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this bolt in a couple of turns. I don't want this starter falling down and hitting me on the head. So I'm going to leave it a couple of turns right there, and I'm going to start working on the the bottom one. Let's see if I can get in there with this tool. A little trouble getting in there with that one. I may have to go with an extension. Okay. Let's see if we can get on this thing now. I'm using an extension with a swivel socket this time. And hopefully I'm not blocking your view, but that came off fairly easily too. I'm sure I'm doing a great job of blocking your view here. Here we go. You can see the starter's already ready to fall out. That's what I was afraid of. That's why I left that bolt up there, so the thing won't come down and hit me in the head. Hopefully you're getting a good view of this. The bolts are certainly long enough. Okay, that one's out. All right, so now I'm going to take one hand and hold the starter while I unscrew the last one. There we go. And out comes the starter very easily. Okay, not bad. So now we're going to take it on the bench and we're going to test it, see if we can figure out what's going on here. Well, friends, there's no need to try to test this starter. I see the problem already. This wire that goes from the solenoid to the starter has corroded and broken away. It's all corroded and rusted, so I'm just going to go ahead and replace the starter. That was the issue. So we're headed up to see if we can get another one. Okay, friends, a couple of days have passed since I was last with you. What has occurred here is they had to order the starter for me, and it has come in. Now there's a minor issue here. My old starter, you may or may not recall, only had one terminal. This starter has two terminals. So it's a little bit of confusion. I believe this is the correct terminal. Now this terminal on my old starter was on this side, but the plug that I have in the car will not fit this. So I believe this terminal is not going to be used. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove the terminal that I'm not going to use. I don't want it there in case something comes in contact with it. So I'm just going to unscrew this little plug. Like I say, this plug will not fit the plug that I have on the car anyway. So I'm just going to remove that. From what I understand, the reason for the extra terminal is this is made to fit more than one vehicle. So now I'm going to install a little boot over it. If I can get it on there. There. So that will prevent anything from inadvertently coming in contact with it. And I feel better about having it out of the way and out of mind. So now we're ready to go ahead and try to install this starter. Okay, friends. Before I go over to the truck and attempt to install this starter, I decided to do one more thing. I've got these starter bolts here. They're 10 millimeter by 1.5. And what I'm doing here, I've got my tap and die set out, and I'm chasing these threads. Now the purpose of this is just to make sure that these bolts go in as easily as humanly possible. It's a big advantage if you can turn them in with your fingers as far as possible. So all I'm doing is chasing these threads, so I'll have an easier time installing these bolts. It's a very quick and easy thing to do if you've got a metric tap and die set. I would recommend everybody having a metric tap and die set. Everybody's got standard tap and dies, and they still sell mostly standard tap and dies in the hardware store, but they're almost useless. All the nuts and bolts now are metric. Matter of fact, a friend of mine had a little job cleaning someone's basement, and he found a beautiful standard tap and die set, and he called me up and he said he found a nice tap and die set. The owner said he could have it, wanted to know what it was worth, and I said, is it metric or standard? And he said it was standard, and I said it's worth zero, it's worth nothing. All the bolts now are metric. Very rarely do you see a use of standard nuts and bolts now. It might be a good idea. I still have my standard sets, but it'd be a good idea to purchase a metric tap and die set. It would come in handy for things like this. Okay, let's see how well this goes in there now. Oh geez. Okay, so that's really nice. That's going to be very easy installing this starter now. Okay, so off the camera, I'll chase the threads of the other bolt. That's nice. Alright, so I'll chase the threads on that other bolt, and then we'll go over to the truck. Okay friends, we're under the truck, and we're going to attempt to reinstall this starter. So I've got one of the bolts in my hand. I'm going to try to push that starter up into place. Hope it don't fall and hit me in the head. Okay. Seem a little out of breath because I had trouble reaching up there. I've actually got the truck much higher than is really necessary, so it's giving me a little trouble reaching the bolts. Okay friends, what I've gone and done is got my creeper. That makes me a little bit closer to the subject, so I can reach it a lot easier now. And my creeper has a nice headrest. I don't know why I didn't use that in the first place. As you can see, that chasing those threads worked very good. I was able to turn that all the way in with my fingers, which was a big advantage. Now I've got to get this bolt in. Apologize for my breathing heavy, but I'm an old man. There we go. Got that one started. That's turning in very easy as well. I'll loosen this one a little bit. Okay. I've got these little fuel, what do you call it, coolant lines in the way, so it's kind of giving me a hard time. So I'm going to get the ratchet to finish that one. Yeah, I'm actually turning it in with my hand. I'm not even using the ratchet. So it was a big advantage chasing those threads. It's well worth purchasing a metric tap and die set. I'll do a little video on mine. Just got to give this a little tighten here. Alright, it's pretty tight. Hope I'm doing a good job of that. Actually, I'm getting this thing much tighter than it was when I removed it. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and install the main wire. Okay, what I've actually got here is a little wire brush. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit before I install it. It's good. Get the inside of it. That'll be good enough. There's no corrosion there. Put the terminal back on. Looks pretty good. The lock washer back in. Slamming the nut on. So what happened here is the original starter had a 14mm nut, but this new starter has a 13mm nut. So we'll tighten that up really good. Then all that will remain is to plug in our little terminal here. And then we'll try it out. This is a nice little wrench set that curved, and it's just perfect for this. All right, that's pretty tight. So now I'm going to take my plug. Yeah, we're plugged in right there nicely. Okay, so this install is done. Hopefully it will work. So let's go reconnect the battery and try it. Beautiful, so it looks like the job was a success. So that's all I've got here for today. It was much easier job than I expected. Some cars are a real bear to replace the starter, but everything seems to be wide open under there on this Dodge pickup. So I want to thank you once again for watching Rick's Garage. Before I go, I'm going to post 2 videos to your left. Feel free to click on one or the other if you find either of interest. To your right will be a picture of my trusty German Shepherd, the one you just heard barking. He's my avatar. Feel free to click on that if you wish to subscribe. So thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you again really, really soon.